Hello, you guys. How are you all? Thank you guys for being here. So today we are doing Watts, and this is like kind of crazy. So I definitely want to talk about this. I do want to say, if you usually watch me, you know that there's been like some issues with the internet the last few streams, right? So I am in a different location. I'm actually back at my mom's house where I used to stream years ago. Look, does this look familiar? But yeah, so today we're going to talk about a couple things. Last year, you guys, a lot of you were here, some of you weren't, of course, and people on the replay, there was a lot of attention on this particular subject, but I did an interview with Dylan Tallman from jail. And also talked with his friend Jamie quite a bit about these books he was releasing. So Dylan Tallman released a set of books on Chris Watts. He actually released 3, and it was his story. I'm going to show you exactly what it says, but the books have been taken down. They are not available. And I want to talk about it. And we've started going through the Watts discovery recently, so we're going to jump back in. And yeah, I'm excited. So that is the plan. Just one second. Let's see. Hopefully the internet behaves here. I started watching you during the Watts days. It's crazy. That's kind of what it is. What brought me to doing like live stream. So, oh, is Nay here? Hey, Nay. Hey, TV Bentley. Punksy. Hey, Jamie. Hey, Kane's Nana. Hey, Brandy. Hey, Tara. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Kelly. Hey, Angie. So here's the thing. I bought all of these books because we read through them. If you want to hear them, they're on my channel, right? We read page to page with commentary, but I gave them away in a giveaway as soon as we read them. So I don't have them anymore. I would have to listen to my videos, pull up the transcript to get word for word. I've got an exclusive statement from Dylan's friend, Jamie, about what's happened and why they're taken down. And we're going to take a look at, first, I want to show you just like a summary of some of the things that were in these books and what Dylan has said. Then I'm going to give you the statement of what's going on. We're going to talk about it a little bit, see what you guys think, and then we'll get into the discovery. So that's the plan. Just hoping and praying that the internet gods are with me today or whatever. Crazy mama. Hey, Jackie, I started watching you because of Amber's lives. That's so cool. Amber has done some excellent documentaries on this case, and actually, I watched her before I ever even had a channel. She is a dear friend of mine. I love her to pieces. There's her channel. Please check it out if you haven't. I will put it in the description, too. I'll link her documentary in the description after, and a few of the links we're going to look at. Let's see. Thank you, Kelly. Well, I can't. My tooth's broken. Oh, I only told Patreon. I wasn't on yesterday. I'm so sorry. I woke up. I was feeling great. I was whatever. Had some things to do. And I put a piece of hard candy in my mouth, bit it, and boom. I had a tooth that already had a cavity on the backside. You couldn't see it. The front side, you couldn't tell. And so I had no idea. It was at the point of it broke in half. So I have been struggling with that. I wasn't here yesterday. And I'll probably not be on camera like fully for a while until it's fixed, which will be like a month tops. And then longer for a permanent fix. But so his books, Kelly, are about his time with Chris in prison. So let's start here. Let me see. He did many interviews. The New York Post picked up some of his stuff. Here is Dylan. This is a picture of him here. He was his cellmate in 2018 to 2020. Now, here's the thing. He actually did. I think he's probably the person that was able to get the closest to Chris, the only true friend he's had, since he's been locked up. And even Chris would tell you that at one point in time, they were writing a book together, a devotional book. Dylan and his friend Jamie actually provided me with some of the written, like handwritten things that Chris wrote for that book. Dylan him and Jamie went and posted that book because he was locked up. So Jamie was out here doing everything, designing, posting, typing, everything. She goes and posts that book up, and boom, Amazon takes it down. Someone who is a representative of Chris Watts doesn't want the book out, and that devotional was taken down, the one they did together. Then he decides, I'm going to put out this series about my time with Chris, and that's these books we're discussing today. Hey, Jamie. Hey, Pointer Lover. Tara. Drive safe, Chelsea. Okay. Hey, Tess. Hey, Bryn. Has everyone heard of that woman, Callie, in the last few years? No. Oh, wait, who? Khalil. I do. No, I don't know. Hey, Chief. Hey, Neat. Okay. So here's the New York Post. They put out this article at the time. Let's see. So they protect him at Dodge. This was another person speaking. If the guards weren't around, everyone would take a swing at him. So Chris he was moved out of Colorado for his safety. Those sentiments are echoed by Watts' former cellmate, who said that Watts is often in danger behind bars. Dylan said he's an outcast. Dylan worked on a yet unpublished devotional book with Watts. When people found out that his victims were two little girls, they wanted to kill him. He had nowhere else to turn, and I think I was his only friend, Dylan said. Authorities said Watts committed the murders because he was having an affair with Nicole Kessinger, a co-worker who would later claim that she thought he was already separated. Every day, he thinks about what he did, Dylan said. He has photos of the girls, and he prays for forgiveness every day. But he knows he can't undo what he did. So that's some. Then we're going to come over here to this article. And this is Unilad who did a story on it. Hold on. Jeez. Hold on, you guys. Just clicked on something wrong. Just one second. I'm going to pull it right back up because I want you guys to hear this article specifically. Chris Watts gave disturbing excuse for murdering pregnant wife and daughters in chilling letter to fellow inmate. The murderer penned a number of letters to Dylan Tallman, who resided in the cell next to him at the Dodge Correctional Institution in Wisconsin, according to the New York Post. He appeared to try and justify his vile actions in the handwritten notes, which were published last year. In one, Watts touted himself as the primary caregiver to his and Shanann's two children, as he reportedly wrote, she was really busy with her job and everything it required. In another, he talked about women giving him attention. See, I don't remember all of these. I would have to go back and watch the videos I did. Second. Discussing his mistress. Now, he did talk about his mistress in a couple things that we saw handwritten, and it's all in Dylan's books. You know, and remember, in our first episode of going back over the Watts case, we learned that there was an alarm that went off on the garage door, like an alert rather, or a notification that the door had been opened like an hour before police and Nicole and everyone was at the house that next day. Who left the house? Who was at the house? Like, that's in the first couple pages. I can't get over that. He said that Chris said like this about Nicole Kessinger. She was just everything my wife wasn't, like with me. She was just nice and not a control freak. We would make decisions together. We knew each other for a while, but we didn't start messing around until 6 weeks before. I was not thinking. We worked together, we had chemistry, and I fell into temptation. She was the forbidden fruit. He did brand her a harlot and a Jezebel in another letter seen by the New York Post. He is alleged to have added, her flattering sweet speech was like drops of honey that pierced my heart and soul. Little did I know that all her guests were in the chamber of death. And we saw that in Chris's handwriting. I just want to be clear. The lust of the eyes, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life. How did I not see it? The web of the enemy squeezes around my heart and is cocooning my soul to the point of suffocation. Yeah, the door, I don't remember how they wrote it, but there was an alert that they asked, they couldn't get an answer. Who was there? Who left? Who opened the garage? Chris wasn't there. Hey, crochet lover. So who was it? Okay, so now let's go over just for a second and look at this book. I have to be careful because this is my Amazon account. And if you look, it says like the address over to the right. I have it zoomed in. But right now, if you look right here to the right side of the screen, you see out of print. All the books were taken down, right? And makes you wonder because of all the stuff that happened with that devotional, what was going on. He had a poetic way of writing, Kelly, because they were writing that devotional, remember? So I think that was the reason why it was like that. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so here's what the book is described as. The author of this book served time in prison, sailed up side by side with Chris. The two grew close and were co-authors at one point until recent complications. The book is basically a 7-month interview of Chris a year after his conviction. The writer brings this famous true crime story from an angle never before told, which is firsthand knowledge directly from the source. Part of me, like, I wish I still had the book, but also I'm happy to do giveaways, when I can. So now we're going to go over here for a moment. I'm just going to just have this picture on the screen, and we're going to talk about what Dylan's friend Jamie said of why the books are down. I asked her, would you mind to give me a statement, like a short statement about why the books are down? Because I know that there's rumors. I've gotten emails from a couple people. I actually am supposed to do like an interview or have a conversation on another channel about this or about some of this, but so anyways, I asked her, can I get a short statement? And let me tell you what she said. She was kind enough to do that, and I appreciate that so much, Jamie. Thank you. Okay. She said, simply put, the books were pulled due to non-payment for services rendered. A lot of effort and hard work went into making the book what they were, and that was not something I was willing to do for free. When Dylan finally decided that he wasn't able to come up with the money, he told me to go ahead and unpublish. He made a choice to spend money in other ways instead of focusing on the success that was at one time important to him. So this is just the statement here in writing. So this is pretty interesting to me. Like during the time that I did these interviews, I talked to both of them a lot. And I know like Jamie was typing the books. She was doing the covers. She was dealing with the different places where the books were sold, because it wasn't just Amazon. They were sold everywhere. That's why I tried to correct my title. I don't know if it worked. Taken off the market is what it was supposed to say instead of Amazon. But, she should have gotten paid. I mean, the books obviously made money. People were interested. Those videos I did got a lot of attention and are still getting comments on them from time to time. And those books were we already knew and saw the letters where Chris had said she was a Jezebel and kind of blamed Nicole. But in these books, it's very clear in black and white that Chris claimed, all kinds of stuff, and that Nicole was involved. It was, so I don't know. I wonder if Nicole Kessinger read the books. What do you guys think? And what do you think about him being taken off the market? Lots of videos and podcasts. Yes, there are big. And here's the thing. Shanann she shared her entire life. So there is so much for people to dig through and look at and talk about. Can't believe it's going on 7 years. I know, me neither. Hey, Amber. Thank you, Jamie. Again, I appreciate it. I don't blame you. I would have unpublished them too. I mean, I had told Dylan at the time because he was in recovery. It's sad. This is sad to me. And I just want to take a minute on this and then we'll move on to some case stuff. But Dylan was in recovery and I'm in recovery. Some of you guys may not know that if you're new here. Almost 9 years for me in the summertime. And I know how hard it is to be a certain age and have nothing and have done nothing with your life. And it was cool to see somebody that had been, in the trenches, because that's what it is when you're addicted to drugs, and especially the hard drugs and, in prison and stuff. It was really cool to see somebody that had been like in the trenches, like trying to make something of their life and doing really well and taking the time to write out those books. I mean, they were pretty short, but it would take some time and effort from both of them. Jamie should have been paid. But regardless, it was nice to see that. It sucks. Addicts, even in recovery, sometimes aren't good with money and they're not responsible. These are things you have to learn. And I'm sad to see it happen, but maybe one day he'll continue telling his story. I think he has a story to tell. In my opinion, it isn't just Chris and Shanann and the girl's story. Now, like, part of this is part of Dylan's story and his journey. Imagine from his perspective, you get put in prison next to this guy who is infamous for killing his entire family, and he becomes your best friend. And then you have a falling out, and I don't blame him for telling his story. Maybe he'll do it again one day. I don't know. Let me know. Did you guys believe Dylan's books? What did you think about him? And what do you think about them coming down? Yeah, agree, Angie. Sadly, Allie, it was an illusion. Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that, dude. My friend is 1 year sober today. That's awesome. Thank you, guys. He's in county jail. Yes, he's still locked up. I've emailed with him like once in the last year, and he's tried to call, but I haven't answered it. I don't have the time. There are not enough hours in my day. So thank you, anything. Anything is possible. I work as a professional peer at a state psych hospital. My job is to be an example that recovery is possible. That's awesome. How cool is that? It's kind of like the recovery coaches. Yes, proud of you all. I'm so much better off and have moved on to better things. Good. Why was there a falling out? So Dylan and Chris had that devotional, and they had sent me all the emails from this time. Like, he went ahead and posted their devotional. And at first he did have Chris on it. Then I think that changed. But regardless, there was someone who was an associate or some kind of representative for Chris Watts who reached out to Amazon and must have threatened a lawsuit or talked about his intellectual property, which would be Chris's, the poems that he wrote. And they took it down. And there was some other stuff. I interviewed him, though. My memory's terrible. So I would go back and watch that interview if you didn't see it. Oh my gosh, Nadie, I think I'm knocking on 17 years. I literally thought the same thing. Like, you do lose track after a while. I'm proud of you, Nate. Allie, did you say you made video? Yes, Sissy's mom. I have videos of the books. You know what? Before we go, let me just grab the videos because I'd like to be able to just post them here. Might take me a second, but I'm gonna get them. Okay. I don't think I did a playlist, did I? I should have. I'll create a playlist, but I'm going to drop them in the chat and you can save them for later. Let's see. So, yeah. So that's the whole thing. I don't know. Like I said, I hope he'll continue to tell his story. I do think he has a story to tell that ties in with I do have a playlist. I'm crazy. 1 second. Let me just drop the playlist in here. At the bottom, for some reason, there's a Jay-Z video, but that is not part of the playlist. I'll delete it. Not this live. But there you guys go. And that gives, me reading each book and interviewing them and all of that stuff, though. Okay. All right, so now let's get back into the discovery, because I told you guys before, I had never actually read through the entire discovery. I had listened to friends read stuff about it and stuff like that, but I want to know the facts for myself. I want to see it with my own eyes. And already, just in the first couple narratives, I'm like, okay, I'm seeing evidence of things that, could show someone else could be involved. That's kind of the stance I've always taken, but I do, whatever your opinion is, that I ain't judging you for it. Thank you, Sissy's mom. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay, 1 sec. Okay, so where we left off was in this narrative. And this is the beginning, right? We watched the video of him at his neighbor's house. We read through the first narrative, and then we started this and we stopped. So I'm going to start here at a few moments later. A few moments later, Sergeant Bakes, Officer Coonrad, and I searched the house. Chris advised we had free reign and to do whatever you got to do. Chris was advised he can go inside with us or stay outside. Chris advised he would stay outside on the deck. Chris advised they've been together 8 years and married for 6 this year. He said it was very unusual behavior. He entered the house and put the dog in the backyard. Upon approaching the front door, I observed a Ring doorbell camera. You guys know that footage of Shanann, on the Ring doorbell as she's getting home. So he says, I noticed a Ring doorbell camera, and we're going to watch some footage in a second. Chris advised me he usually uses the garage door, and it depends what Shanann usually uses. He advised the only alerts he had for the doorbell were when her friends were here. He advised the Ring should record as you approach the front door. He said it showed Shanann got home at 1:48. And the only thing that was weird was the garage door showed that it was still open after he left. Chris advised his alarm is through Vivint. Isn't it Vivint? Vivint or something. Vivint? I don't know how to say it. Chris said her friend Nikki said the garage door was shut when she got there. The other officer in the first narrative mentions the alert. And hold on, let me add this. This alert about the garage door wasn't on Chris's phone. It was only on Shanann's phone. So why would he delete that alert? Why would Chris delete the alert at the garage door? That doesn't make sense. I observed a purse on the kitchen counter along with the second phone in a black case. There was a green wallet in the purse, Shanann's license, bank cards, debit cards, nausea pills. Upon searching the rest of the house, I did not find signs of damaged property or anything that would indicate some type of struggle. It was very well kept and organized with the exception of the office. found medication and describes what that medication was. The Lexus was parked in the garage with 2 car seats in the back seat and the keys sitting on the center console. There was also a remote to the garage attached to the passenger side visor. I did not observe anything out of the ordinary inside the Lexus. There was mail sitting on the passenger seat and other car seats sitting on the floor of the garage. Now remember, Chris actually opens the door of the Lexus and grabs something or does something. I don't know what he did, but he definitely did. The basement was unfinished and very well organized. There was a bed in the basement that had pillows and a blanket on it, and it was not made, so where Chris was sleeping. There was also a makeshift window covering on the window near the bed. I went upstairs into the master bedroom on the second level. Upon entering the room, Sergeant Banks was looking at a blanket on the floor. Remember, some of the sheets were gone. I did not observe anything obviously damaged or anything that would indicate a struggle. The washing machine door was open, and there was a couple child clothing items in the washer and a load of clothes in the dryer. Now, the kids' room. This is important. The purple kids' bedroom did not have the bed made, but the sheets and blanket were on it. There was a Jack and Jill bathroom with no water in it. I was advised the bathroom had previously been locked, and there was a well-organized playroom. Remember, Chris said that one of the girls had their blankets. The backyard had a privacy fence with townhomes directly to the south. He notices the lock on the top of the door, garage door opener. Officer Coonred pressed it to see how long it would take to close. There was enough time for someone to press the button from the inside and run out of the garage into the driveway. That is so interesting that they put this in here, because we're going to go back. Okay. We're going to get to this stuff soon. There also the black suitcase next to the staircase and all of that. But let's go back to that first report for a second. This is important. So there was enough time when Officer Coonrad tested it for someone to press the garage door opener and go ahead and run out. And they felt they should put that in this report. That is so interesting. And if we go here, hold on. To the door, Shanann's phone was. He found it in the couch. Hold on just 1 second. So the neighbor shows the video at 5:27. He's observed backing into the driveway. So here's the part I wanted to talk about. He's observed backing into the driveway. The neighbor and Nicole both stated they had never seen him back into the driveway before. He leaves a short time later. The rear of the truck was obscured by the garage. We know that, right? So Christopher gave us consent to check Shanann's phone. It had an alert which stated the garage door was open at 12:42. Baumhover took the phone to Frederick Police Department. Christopher showed me his phone, which shows alarm times when the doors are opened. It sent an alarm at about the time stating he had left the open garage door. Christopher told me that at least 3 times, which I felt was unusual. Shanann's phone showed an alert at 12:42 for the garage door, which is the only way someone could leave the residence. He wasn't anxious. He didn't go look for his family. And this alert that someone left was on Shanann's phone. So then we have the next officer who writes, we pressed the button and checked, and there was enough time for somebody to leave through the garage, press the button and then run out, and the garage door was still shut. So what the hell is really going on there? See, I don't like that. And this is just the first few pages, Discovery page 56. We're going to go just a little bit further and see what we can find. Chris advised she doesn't go for walks. She will go for right. Okay, this part. Chris advised this morning they had a conversation about selling the house and separating. He advised they were both pretty emotional and crying. Chris said Shanann told him she was taking the kids to a friend's house, but didn't tell him who. He said she was still in bed when that happened. Chris said it was between 4 and 5 a.m. He said he woke up at 4 a.m. Chris said he was passed out when she got home, then woke her up. He said he wanted to have the conversation with her face to face. He said the conversation lasted 30 to 45 minutes and he left between 5:15 and 5:30. Imagine the officers, like this man's family is missing. They go, I believe Chris never expected they'd be at the house that soon. They go to the house to check everything out. Her phone's found hidden in the couch. Her car's there with the car seats. But he's saying she's at a friend's house. But we did have a fight this morning right before I left. Hello, big red flag. Hey, Katie. Hey, crafted evidence. I wanted to go, though, while we're looking at this and go back to that body cam just because it's been forever. And yeah, I wish I could find the exact part when the alert's mentioned. Maybe I can. Unaliving his wife was bad enough, but I will never understand being able to take the lives of your children. Me either, Sissy's mom. And not just take them. Take their lives. And then put them through an 8-inch hole, 8 inches in diameter, into a big tank full of oil. And yeah, and why would you separate them like that? I don't know. There's so many things that don't make sense. I don't get it, and I'll never understand somebody who commits a crime like this. I think that it's natural to try to understand the why, but we never will. Spare Time says, I believe NK killed the kids. He threw up so many red flags. Let's see if I can find the part where the garage is mentioned. I have the body cam right here pulled up. And then let's do this. Wait. I think if I go here. They have timestamps. Chris arrives. Shanann's phone is found. Let's find Shanann's phone. Let's go to this one. Chris arrives. Let's see Chris arrive and then Shanann's phone. Remember, so let's just say, for just like a theory or a what if, he didn't expect the cops to be there yet, and he thought he had more time to clean up. And what if someone else was there and left at 12:42 when the garage door shuts, when nobody was there, supposedly. So watch him walk up. You can just see maybe I'm crazy, but I could just feel the nervousness.
Scott, how you doing? How's it going? So this is the only vehicle.
Wait, I don't have it sped up, do I? No.
She would have. Scott, how you doing? How's it going? So this is the only vehicle she would have? Only one that she would drive? Okay.
What are you doing there, Chris? I will always wonder what that was about. What did you do to the car right there? Or get out of the car.
That's me. Yeah. The neighbors went and checked his cameras and said that a white car drove away at 1. It was me, though.
Here's my thing, Amber. Amber says, him deleting the log from his phone shows consciousness of guilt. Therefore, I don't think it was Inna or her son. I believe if it was them, they would have told police, right? Because you wouldn't have gotten in trouble if it was already open. The garage door was open, I'm assuming, and just closed at 12:42. So if they walked in, they wouldn't have gotten in trouble. So I don't believe it was them either. And why wouldn't they just tell police if it was them?
It's me. I dropped her off.
That was the last action on my camera.
Yes, Jamie, same.
That's throughout the whole day, or?
Besides Chris leaving?
Well, Yeah.
What about can there some way you can look for the day during the daytime?
Okay, now we're going to go to the phone being found, which is at 22:54. So, I'm right there with you, Kimberly. I believe he's responsible. I believe he's exactly where he needs to be. He's confessed several times, different stories. Remember what he told the police when they came out to Dodge, after everything was said and done. We know his first confession, blaming Shanann. Then police come out there. We know that he confessed to Sherilyn. He was a written confession that we all read, where he claims that the girls woke back up after he tried to take their lives the first time, I guess you would say. I don't even know how to explain that one. And then he confessed to Dylan in a way, right? Because if you remember, and if you go back and watch the book, like read those books, there was a lot of detail, especially in like the second one, if I remember correctly. If Jamie's still here, could you let me know? Like which one you feel gives the most detail, because maybe people could just watch that one if you don't have time. But so this is where I'm not sure how much of them are true, but it was very interesting to hear you read them. Katie's saying, but you know what? Chris, if it wasn't true, he could still try to legally do something about it, right? You can't just lie on somebody like that. So the fact that Dylan was so bold about it and published not one, but 3 books, and they did not come down because of Chris. Jamie herself gave us this statement. Where's it at? Oh, I lost it. If you guys rewind, she gave us the statement that she pulled them because the money was an issue. So it's like, if they weren't true, I don't know. Pretty interesting though. You are seeing it from the man's side. He wanted a total fresh start, including control of his money. He would lose horribly in family court and a divorce. No, I agree with that. NWP. I mean, I could see that. But I still don't think that's not a good enough reason. That sucks. But it happens to people all the time. Doesn't give you the right to take their lives. And not only that, you don't just take the mom's life, which we see people do, like the Kansas moms, for instance. The grandma took their lives, the woman that was in the custody battle with her son, and the woman who was with her, because of this heated custody battle. But she didn't take the lives of the kids. She actually had the kids and continued to try to take care of them until she was arrested. But Shamita, thank you for being here. And thank you for being a member for 19 months. Kelly, keep in mind, I did not follow this case, so this question may be dumb. No question is dumb. And I'm so glad you're here, even trying to learn and watch. It's super cool. I can't believe you didn't follow it, though. That always shocks me when I hear that. Do you think his wife walked in on NK and CW and started flipping out and he did what he did? People think that. Some people think that. Some people think she was there and hiding. I mean, there are so many, we're going to keep going through the paperwork. I just don't want to just read to you guys. I want to make it interesting. So before we read anymore, I'm going to try to find a way to do it with visuals to keep it interesting. But we're going to read through it. I think the first confession is closest to the truth, but still obviously a lie because Shanann didn't kill the kids. But he said he didn't kill the kids, and I think someone else did. I don't know who 100%. So in the first confession, for those of you who don't know, we see Tammy, so one of the works for the police department, talking to him and basically hands him this excuse. Can't remember what she says, but something like, is it, did Shanann do something and you caught her doing something to the kids and then you lost it on her. And as soon as she said that, within minutes, that was his story. So he claimed the first interview that Shanann he came in on Shanann taking the girls' lives. I think he even said, did he say something about he saw it on one of the cameras? We'd have to go watch his confession. Maybe we should. No, Katie. Don't worry about that. I'm going to type it just in case you're still behind. It's all good. You are the expert. She is. I really want to know why Chris had the kid's bathroom key in his pocket. He unlocked it for the detective. Wow, I didn't realize that. Why did the kid's bathroom, not only was it locked, that's the bathroom that had no water in the toilet. And the whole bowl, it was dry. Right, Kelly. I know. As a mom of boys and a girl of brothers, I fear women that are like that. Didn't they collect touch DNA on Shanann and were the girls and not even use it? Well, all the evidence they collected, they didn't get to use. Agent Tammy, gosh, what's her last name? It's not coming to my mind, but she went on Oxygen and did this show that was about the murders. And she clearly said, because all these movies came out after the case closed, documentary, Lifetime movie, all this stuff kind of at once. And she said, I wish we would have had more time to keep digging because our investigation wasn't over. We weren't done. We weren't done digging. We weren't done going through stuff. And it stopped. It just kind of stopped when he pled guilty. And then that was that. Wait, you don't think he killed the kids or that what he said? Someone else said? No, I was reading Amber's comments. I don't know. I definitely think he's responsible, but I question if he had any help. Because to me, there seems to be a lot of evidence that points to that. His girlfriend's phone, for people who are new, pinged right by the home at 6 o'clock that morning or early that morning. And it never pinged by the home. The only time her phone did that was when she went to the home. Now, she could have potentially went that way to work and just drove by to see what's going on. I know his wife's coming home tonight or something like that. But there's a lot of weird stuff. She was searching them online long before she met Chris, before we're told that they even met. She knew who they were because she was doing searches, Facebook or Google searches, and on both of them eventually. It's been years though, because so I'm rough on the details. That's why I wanted to do this. That's interesting, Deco. Well, let's keep watching this. But it was an interrogation technique, Kimberly, to make it seem like it was the victim's fault, to get him to feel like he wouldn't maybe look so bad or make it a little easier for him to confess. And it worked. It worked. No, I know, Kelly. I get what you're saying. I totally do. Oh, crafted evidence. Did she? That's so cool. Tess, will you do me a favor and click? This is the channel I was talking about potentially going on, but you should click on it and, well, if you can find the interview easily. If not, I'll just make a post for it. Justin, good to see you. And Riley, I hope you're doing okay. If someone is drowned in the toilet, I wonder if there would be blood or some kind of fluid. Let's watch a little more of this and we'll keep talking about it. So this is when detectives find the phone in the couch. 22. Okay.
Across country, North Carolina.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's not.
Or someone finds it and gives it to them. Can't remember. I think Nicole's son finds it, maybe.
Their blanket they sleep with, they don't leave anywhere without them.
Good. Nothing else appears to be missing, though. Just stuff you'd take for a quick trip.
Kelly, I'm going to try to show you. It's in between these two kids' rooms. Thank you, Tess.
phone's here.
There we go. Her phone's here? Gosh, it's quiet. You hear her friend say, her phone's here? Her phone's here.
Her phone's here? Her phone's here.
Oh, shit. He's
Does she
thinking.
work?
Yeah, she works from home.
Oh, from home.
She works, this is her lifeline. Yeah, that thing turns back on.
Me too, NWP.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
It was shut down.
Now, I believe that in A, this is her friend Nicole. Nicole was on a work trip with Shanann and dropped her off at like 1:30 that morning at the house. She was in very close contact with Shanann's mom during all of this.
Yeah. Well, what's originally under the pillow on the couch? You know,
It was laying under the pillow, I think he said.
I don't know her passcode.
it used to be 2385, but now it's 6 digits.
It's the baby's due date.
Oh, look at that. So he did not know the password and she did. It's a baby's due date because Shanann was pregnant with a little boy.
131.
Hey, trio girl mom. I think you're right, Kimberly. Uh-huh. And guess what, buddy? I'm wondering if Chris, maybe that's what he got out of the car. Maybe it was her ring. I'm not sure, but I'm wondering if he stuffed it in the couch and was going to do something with it. No one would ever see that he didn't delete alerts off there that were deleted on his phone. But let's see. I'm going to go to the bathrooms.
What does she do for work?
She works at a direct sales company called Drive.
We can find it. Go downstairs there. Oh, wait. Let's see. Was it on this one or the...
Drive where like she would don't take the kids to school. People that I know that live down here, people that live, Kristen lives.
Definitely.
Remember, it is interesting.
Definitely
She's
an odd
changed
one.
her code.
I don't know what I can do right now. Should I drive around like the normal route that she would be?
Muted. I'm so glad we're doing this because new people learning stuff. I'm learning stuff. So Sissy's mom says, interesting. I wasn't aware that NK Googled them before she met Chris. So maybe she was obsessed, wanted to get rid of the competition. But why would Chris lie for her? I don't know, Sissy's mom. There's a lot of theories out there, you know. It's crazy because even in her interview with detectives, her dad was kind of stopping the officer. He calls him by his first name and he's like, hey, well, I forget his name, but dude, too far. Like, nah, you're not like this. Like he was like stopping him like that, kind of guiding him. Even though she also broke her Sims card. Like she was literally destroying evidence. Why would someone do that? If I was dating someone who I didn't know or did know, let's say I'm dating someone and I know they're married, but they're unhappy, they're getting a divorce, whatever, they have kids. All of a sudden, wife and kids come up missing. Especially, you know, at any point, but especially she's pregnant there and the situation the way it was. Like if I was in that situation, there's no way I can't see myself doing anything and everything to help with the investigation. Have at it. If you are not part of it, why would you break anything? Who cares? Like, yeah, she said something about naked photos, so she was scared for them to have her phone in her interview. No, they don't care about your naked photos. Why would you care? If it was me and I had naked photos, I don't care. Look through them all, whatever. Just if whatever you can find on that could help, use it. Why would you actively destroy evidence unless there was something to hide? For the people that do believe that she wasn't involved at all, that is one thing. Like, how do you make sense of that? Because the ping, I can make sense of that. The Google, no. You can't make sense of that. Yep, exactly, poop lover. Agree. Who would care if he saw my nudes? Literally nothing wrong with that. She was hiding more than just nudes. She should have gotten an obstruction of justice charge for that. But it was evident they didn't want to investigate her whatsoever. Completely agree. And she didn't get an obstruction of justice. She got treated as if she was a victim, basically, allowed to change her name and hide. Oh, she also Googled about Amber Fry and how much money she made from her book about her affair with a killer, Scott Peterson. I mean, Harley Quinn, good question. How do you kill your wife and kids but have no escape plan or strategy a few hours later? I think he did, but I think his plan was interrupted. So Shanann gets dropped off by her friend at almost 2 a.m. All this takes place, and then he goes on to work and disposes of everyone. Oh, also, she didn't clock into work that day. But, and correct me if I'm wrong on that, Amber, but he goes to work, and by noon, 1 o'clock rather, you're getting calls from police because Nicole, your wife's friend, immediately thought something was wrong when she didn't answer. She had a baby doctor appointment that morning. So by noon, he has to rush home to meet with police. I don't believe he thought that would happen that fast. He probably thought he had some time, to report them missing and stuff. Oh, Sissy's mom, that's so awesome. This is why I won't do only on my own anymore. I was on my own with this case, and I'm learning so much more now. And I want us to learn it by the facts. That's why we have the discovery. We're going to go through the facts, the black and white, because it's important, I think, in my opinion. I want to know it. NA had been trying to get a hold of her since like 9 a.m. Now, Nicole Kessinger did not clock into work that day, right, Amber? Maybe she clocked out. Yeah, super happy she's here. All right, let's see if I can find that toilet video because I really, really want to show Kelly this if I can. So then, and we watched this during episode 1. I'm going to start a playlist for our Watts recap. But this is him at the neighbor's house, watching the footage of his truck pulling in as he loads Shanann in the back. Actually, a YouTuber found a shadow on this. Come to find out, they didn't realize what was in this footage at first. There was a lot to all of that. But regardless, let's continue a little bit. The neighbor tells police, dude, he ain't acting right. He don't usually act like this. Swaying back and forth, all nervous, hands on his...
My alarm started going off.
Hopefully something comes up here.
We got to go watch Melissa, though. I got to let you guys go in a second.
You just want to go talk to him? I'm going to get his info real quick.
But we're going to keep doing this until we get through it all. It might take a while, but hey, Casey's going to take a while.
Rocking back and forth, and if you look,
he's not acting right, he said.
No.
Dude.
Rocking back and forth, and if you look, he never loads his stuff in and out.
He said, and if you look, he never loads his stuff in and out of the truck like that. Sissy's mom, I'm not sure what she's doing tonight. I know she's going on at 8 because I talked to her earlier. But let's see. I'm going to find the link and share it with you guys. She's doing 2024 photo drop with call commentary. And then it says death by extraterrestrial. This should be very good. Oh, she's starting at 8:30 actually. But I'm going to go ahead and share the link with y'all now since I got it. This should be very interesting. Hey, Julia. Oh, I love and appreciate you guys. No, Riley, we're not doing Casey tonight. I don't know when our next one will be. Hopefully soon. But we do have something that we're talking about doing this weekend that's totally different, not true crime at all, on my second channel. I need to work on a couple things, and then I'll post at the live so you can hit the notification so you can come, and I'll share it on this channel. I think it's going to be really fun, a little break from everything going on. We're kind of going to do a review of a few different communities and the things happening in those communities with clips and commentary and just a hangout. I'm really excited to do that. Clocked out at 3. Correct. No clock in. So Nicole Kessinger did not clock in to work that day. But she did clock out at 3. I mean, come on. He was nervous, Justin. Hey, Lisa. I missed you guys. I promise I will not be taking like as many like breaks.
Right.
And it doesn't look like he came from right here. It looks like he came from down the street.
Now, there's a Peacock series on this case. And in that series, they show footage of the person walking out to the truck that day and stuff. And people sent me pictures of their TV. Isn't this the girls' bathroom?
We go in there, they'd be in soap. Like last time, we had Vaseline everywhere.
And I got totally sidetracked. Damn, I suck. I'm so sorry. I'm right in the middle of my sentence, lost my train of thought. I'm trying to find this for Kelly so she can see the toilet. Maybe it'll come back to me. I apologize.
Well, that's bright.
So you normally keep it locked? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They would go in there, they'd be in soap. Like last time, we had Vaseline everywhere. Yeah. So that was not fun. So does she normally make the beds, the kids' beds? No, not all of them. Okay. This all looks normal to you. Does it look like this maybe in a rush? Or this is about normal. Like when kids go get up first. Get up. Yeah, they'll just kind of like around. Sure, just go get her. Sure. Okay. All right. No, we don't wake up till they wake up.
You know who I think showed the toilet? I don't think it was on their body cam, even though they referenced it, unless it's right here. I think it was on the dog handlers, right?
So the kids don't come in here.
Maybe here.
This was locked.
He said this was locked. There we go, Deco.
Open it up and let's look in here. He said they keep it locked so the kids don't come in here and make a mess.
There's not even water in this toilet.
There we go. Are we going to get a look from you or no? I know we see it on the dog handler video. Maybe that's where they show it. Okay, just 1 second. Let me get that.
Really nice house, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. It's hard to find some of these videos, but I think it's right here. Yeah. Okay. You know, if someone else was involved, I don't figure that there will ever be justice. I really don't. Even if people could uncover 100% proof, I'm going to find this damn toilet. Why would that toilet? And then the door's locked. I can see they're locking your kids out of the bathroom. Here we go.
It looks like.
You suppose that's rust in deposit or some kind of sediment?
It looks like sediment.
Okay. Do you think that's rust? So there was some kind of sediment at the bottom, but no water.
Because there's layers.
Okay. Just because I know what's happened. No water. Totally empty and dry. Right.
There's no water in this toilet. Nope. None. The toilet's dry.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Lift up that and see if there's water in the tank. See if there's water in the tank.
Yep. There's water and...
Okay, so there was in the tank. I don't remember that. But why would it be dry like that? Weird. You know, and there's a lot of conspiracies regarding was something flushed in the toilet. Nicole had him drinking these weird drinks. You know, I don't know. I honestly don't know. But let's take a look back at this. So I didn't realize that Cassie, Shanann's friend, said that Shanann had low blood sugar in Arizona. Nothing was observed that indicated a struggle. And then they gave some of Shanann's friends' numbers. Chris advised me she was in North Carolina for 5 weeks. Then he went for a 6th week. This is right before the murders. He said there was a disconnect and they fell out of love for each other. He said when they were together again the last week, it just wasn't the same. Chris felt like they weren't in love anymore. Chris said he could never be himself or be who he was before he met her. Chris said they had the disconnect once he saw her again and that it wasn't, quote, there anymore, unquote. Chris said it was totally possible, that's a quote, she was seeing someone else. Oh my God. I didn't realize he said that. Really? It reminds me of Lori Vallow, like always claiming Charles was, which I don't believe he did until they were separated. But wow. Chris said it was totally possible she was seeing someone else. When asked if he was seeing someone else, he slightly lowered his voice and said, "Nah, I've not done that." Chris said he was going to go to work early to see what's going on. He said if his head wasn't there, he would roll out. Chris said he didn't know what he wanted us to do. He said it's hard to be in the house right now. He was advised to call us right away if he hears anything. Chris told police he doesn't know. What do you want us to do, buddy? I don't know. How about find my kids, find my wife? Can you imagine as a loving parent if your kids were missing? Like, take the wife out of it, which she matters too, but I'm just saying, you're seeing somebody else, the love isn't there, what the hell ever. Let's take her out of it. I don't know. Oh my gosh, Tess. Your wedding ring down the toilet. So Sam Paisley knows Shanann through work. I've never seen these, like read it myself. I don't think I've ever even heard. I remember Christina Meacham, but that's it. So Sam Paisley advised she lives in Maryland and knows Shanann through work. The last time she spoke with her was July 18th. Most of her information was coming from Addie and Cindy, who she was texting with. Sam advised Chris didn't want the baby Shanann was currently pregnant with, and that he wanted a separation. Sam advised Chris went to a baseball game on Saturday with his buddies, and Shanann thought his expense for a meal, salmon and beer, was expensive because it was like $60. Sam advised she thought Chris ate at the Rusty Bucket in Westminster around 8 p.m. and arrived 2 hours later. She said Shanann was experiencing nausea with pregnancy and gave the contact info. So Shanann sees a charge, which he was very careful before. Nicole said in her interview that Chris would pay with Anadarko cards. That's where he worked. So they're giving him gift cards. The wife isn't going to see that, but you charge the credit card, she will, and she did. Then they spoke to a friend named Jeremy. Let's read through these couple of friends, and I'm going to let you guys go, and we'll catch up with the rest on the next episode. So I then spoke with Jeremy. He advised Shanann has a very scheduled life. He advised the kids did take medication. Chris had brought the girls to his house on Sunday for a birthday party. Jeremy lives in Erie and sees them once every few months. When I called Jeremy, he was just leaving Chris's house with his wife. I then spoke with Cindy. She was in Arizona with Shanann. Remember, she just got back from Arizona. That's where her friend dropped her off from, that work trip. Cindy lives in Arizona. Her and Addie had dropped Nikki and Shanann off at the airport Sunday evening. Cindy saw Nikki for the work event Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They all work for Lavelle, so Thrive, that MLM. Many of you guys know. If you don't know or familiar with it, it's like vitamins and supplements, energy stuff. So Cindy advised Shanann told them that Chris was becoming distant and said they weren't compatible anymore. Cindy said Shanann was blindsided by this. Cindy said they were making plans to go away for the weekend. She mentioned that Chris recently deleted his Facebook account. Chris used to post on Facebook how proud he was of Shanann and the kids. Cindy said Shanann was pregnant with a boy, but they had canceled the gender reveal party because the energy wasn't right. Cindy said Chris has recently started to get more fit, which he did. He went from being like chubby and overweight to being like all buff. Cindy advised Shanann was a very routine-oriented person and described her as a helicopter mom. Cindy described Chris as passive and calm. She said Shanann has lupus. She also said Shanann was very distraught about Chris and that he was getting annoyed with her recently. She knew Shanann for a couple of years and saw them in April or May in New Orleans for work. So next we'll get into Christina because it's longer. Christina and Addie. That will be our next live. What did Shanann's friends have to say about her and Chris? And maybe Amber can join us if she wants to. I would love that so much. But so just to go over this again, just something in this though I wanted to talk about. Chris used to post on Facebook how proud he was of Shanann and the kids, but he recently deleted that account. I know that it was speculated, at least between creators, that maybe he deleted the account because Shanann would tag him and stuff, and he didn't want Nicole to see it all. He probably, Shanann put the video on Facebook, we're pregnant. I don't know. Let me Google it, Tess. Let's see. Thrive. Lavelle Thrive. Yes. Shop Thrive. So this is Thrive. I have not looked at this for years, but let me tell y'all, I used to take it. And sorry, I was exiting out of my windows. I used to take it and it actually worked. Like not forever though. I think that I was like deficient on all these vitamins. Maybe I wasn't getting enough from food. And when I started taking it, I had like 2 weeks of really great energy, especially that first week. But then that leveled off and I couldn't tell anymore. It's very expensive too. Let me tell you what, it cost me, it's $200 for a month supply if you want to shake every day. But what they usually try to sell or push, like the system, comes with only enough shakes for one, like every other day. And that's $150 a month. I can't wait to go through what her friends have to say. That is Nicole Kessinger in that video. He was out of cards. Chris said he wished NK had offered to pay that night because he didn't want Shanann to see the charge. He should have spoken up. Hey, Julie. Yeah, because there's Shanann on this trip with her friends, and all she can do is, she's upset, already sick, nauseous, pregnant, has lupus, and then she has to worry about like that stuff. I think Shanann seemed like a great mom. I wish I was more like her. She seemed strong, confident, and driven. Katie, I love that. Dude, I'm a girl's girl, okay? I love to build other women up. I love to see women build. I don't like the jealousy and pettiness. Never looked at a girl and disliked her because she was pretty and I'll see women, grown ass women, 50-year-old women even, threatened by somebody, and just, I don't know. I'm a girl's girl. So I love that, because a lot of people talk a lot of shit about Shanann, and it ain't right. I mean, nobody knew her personally, right? And regardless of how you feel about her, or about what you saw from her in videos, you only show, social media is not real. Okay. People show what they want to show. They're not showing it. Live stream's a little different. You can't really put on it. It's not just a poster. You're kind of seeing somebody live, how they act, their mannerisms, how they treat people. You can't really control what happens if you're on an open mic for that long or whatever. Lives are a little bit different, but even live streams, people choose what they want to share. It's not real. And you see her get torn down all the time. So I think it's really cool to see her things like this said about her. Cause I'm like you, for one, beautiful, but driven. I cannot imagine the energy it took to do what she did. And she did it every day. I can tell you, as someone who has a YouTube channel, for me, if the kids aren't getting along and there's a lot going on, I'll get so stressed out. I won't go live. Because I'm I can't, I'm not even in the mood. I can't fake it. I'm not going to say, I just can't. And to be able to just to do it like that, that's why I'm so proud of Melissa. She really bust her ass. I'm going to drop her link again, and Amber's. But it's not easy to go on every day. And Shanann was on every day, all day, multiple times a day. Oh, Sissy's mom, thank you for being here with me. Candy cane shakes. I didn't try those. Let's take a look at the website. My daughter recently told me something about, I was stay away. Yes, they should build women up. Look, I just saw her as the one who ran the home. Nothing wrong with that. She knew what she wanted. She was outspoken. There's a lot of people who wish they could be like that, have the nerve to speak out like that. Katie, thank you for joining. Alex, I have lupus. It's not fun. Wake up every day feeling like you have the flu. Oh, I'm so sorry, Adrian. Okay. What is the 3-step? Let's try to shop. Thrive, my GLP system. 1, 2, 3. Dude, I don't know. Just give me Thrive. Oh, okay. Look, here we go. You can get this pack for $220. Oh God, it's $338, or you can get a discount for $225 if you sign up for month to month. Oh my God, it has went up. Here, the build pack. This is different than what. So it used to be 2 pills like this, capsules, a shake, and a patch. And so I guess that's still what it is. Yeah. No, wait, sublingual. Huh. But regardless, the whole system is $225 at the cheapest. If you want to take it all and take it right, which they want you to do it, for 2 people. Really, mine was just for 1. Let me click on it. We'll see. But like I said, mine was $200 a month, or $150 for a shake every other day. Second bag of shake mix for free, which you need because they only put 15 in a pack. 30-day supply of Thrive, 32 servings. Oh, wow. 32 servings in the second pack free. I don't know what's up with this shake. You get the patches, the capsules, and the strips, the sublingual strips. So there's one extra thing, but it costs more. $225 if you do auto ship, Or if you just want to try it, you can try it for 1 month for $338. I mean, shoot. Just what? Hold up. This is just ridiculous. And we have the capsules alone. Here's the standard pack. This is with no sublingual strips, I guess. And it's $288 or $185. So yeah, without activation strips or with, it goes back up to the $338. Dude, this is like, it'd be cool to try if you're not feeling good and you're not having a lot of energy, you're not able to eat good, whatever. But they make it so affordable. This is actually a problem with really healthy food too, though. Like, it's, I don't know. But now they have skin and body 30-day packs, other products. So they have all kinds of different stuff now. Thrive, Nourish. Okay. I am going to let you guys go. Part 3 is going to be, what did Shanann's friends have to say? And we'll look at some of that. I'll see what videos or visuals I can get. Please go over and check out Melissa in a little bit. I think it's going to be, she's kind of, I think looks like in the title, she might be responding to something about extraterrestrials. I think that could be interesting from all Raquel. And yeah, that's so true, Tess. Strong women do not compete. They collaborate and lift each other up. So, yeah, being pregnant too. Is it popular with TikTokers? Wow. The one I bought, Katie, was just for one person, but with Chris and Shanann, both, maybe there was something different. But all right, you guys, I'm going to let you go. I love you. Thank you for being here with me. I appreciate you guys. Won't be ordering that anytime soon. I remember that, Tony. I was Facebook friends with Shanann briefly before she was gone. She asked me about Thrive, but she never pushed it. She was very kind. Wow. That's so cool. Hey, Lil Red. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. I hope to see you next time. I'm going to share. Hey, Roxanne. Hey, Natasha, I'm going to share Amber's link one more time because of her amazing documentaries and live streams on this case. She's full of good information, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. But the last thing, I don't want to go. I want to read Natasha's comment first. She says, I'm fake at my job every day, along with 99% of the rest of the world. She did her best, in my opinion. Imagine being so insecure you judge a decent pregnant mother murdered by her pathetic husband. Yes, Natasha. And you're right. Like, you have to put on a level of professionalism when you're selling stuff like that. Like, you have to be friendly, outspoken, talk to people. You know, maybe some days you're not feeling like the friendliest, but you still have to do it. So, I mean, I don't really consider that like being fake, though, going to your job. And it's just a different side of you. We have to be professional in certain situations. I don't see you ever being fake, Natasha. I'm sorry. I just don't, because you always keep it real. Hey, girls, Nana. Yay, Amber. Okay. We'll just do it on a day when it's good for you. I cannot wait. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget, if you're curious about the books, you know, that's at the beginning if you came in late. Yeah, and I'll see you tomorrow for something. And maybe I'll see you over at Melissa's. But thank you to the mods. Thank you to the chat again. And have a great night. Bye.